Well, the first thing that I will talk about is companions. So, companions is a thing that we're looking forward to next, right? These will be coming very soon. And will the companions have the same artwork detail as the Guardians? Yes. It's the same style. It's the same style and all of that. We're almost done with this. We don't have a date and so on, but in terms of development, we're very far along with that, and we should have more information on when we're releasing this. So that's a very exciting thing that we have coming up. And companions, from what we're looking at, so I'll talk a little bit about the design. So we, in terms of how the traits work, I believe that there's at least like around like 110,000 combinations possible. So we added quite a few things. We kept some old traits, we kept some old things from the previous collection with the Guardians, but we also added a whole bunch of stuff. Like from what I remember, I think all the HUDs are essentially new. So that's one thing which is really cool that I want to update everybody about. That development on this is going along very smoothly, and it should be coming very soon. I don't want to give anyone a hard date or anything like that. We want to make sure that everything done is done properly before we actually release that. And another thing that I also want to mention is that we are exploring the possibility of updated metadata for Guardians, meaning something that could potentially reflect an updated trait, an updated thing within the Guardian combining with the companions. I don't have too much information on that because we're very early on in the development with it, so things are tentative to change. So just wanted to give a little tease about that. And so for staking is going to involve the companions. The companions are going to play a major key component to that. So that will be coming after the companions. We have already discussed that within the team of how we're going to be implementing it and so on. And we're essentially just doing our due diligence and making sure that we do this the correct way. So for that, like we do have an infographic we're working on, which will be able to explain it a little bit more than I can. I just can't give those details right away. We do have to keep some things in the future. One thing I can say about companions is that after the mint of companions, the team, majority of people on the team have already pledged soul into buying up guardians. We will be sweeping up the floor, and as Yellow has said in the chat, guardians that are swept up by us will be burned. Backgrounds are interchangeable. I believe so. Do not quote me on that. I think they will be, but like I said, we're exploring all the possibilities with that, with the metadata and how that'll work. Have you decided on final price for companions? Quotes him on that. Final price, from what I was told, was 0.33. So it's 3,333 at 0.33. And like we've said before, companions, this is a min pass. This is going to be your essentially your ticket to the future for free mints, like with things coming out, like backgrounds and other things. The min price for Guardian holders is going to be 0.33 and limit on purchase on transaction. It's going to be essentially the same thing as how we did it the last time with Guardians. Companions are acting like a pass. They're going to be acting as like a pass to future Guardian NFTs. So what Companions is essentially doing, it's funding the project, and it's also going to be acting as a pass for you guys for Guardian NFTs. So things that we would have coming out in the future, you would get those for free based on that. Can you give us an example of what a companion will do per Guardian? Best to have 1 to 2 to 3 per Guardian, or go all out. I mean, I can give you a sneak peek of what things will look like. In terms of what they'll do per Guardian, it will actually have to do with staking. It'll have to do with staking and the tokenomics that we will be implementing. And I'll touch on the royalties in like a second. That'll be like the next like segue into the conversation. Well, one thing I can actually mention about royalties is that companions, 100% of those sales actually go back to Guardian holders as royalties, like the secondary sales. So that does go back to you guys. Can I send you an FL request for PM? Yeah, sure. Just 1 second. The HUD winner is Pez. He's already declaring it before we even said it. But yeah, the tokenomics, I do want to speak more on it. It's just that there's certain things that we have to do before we can give more information. We can't really just say it prematurely. We have to make sure that all due diligence is done and we implement it the right and proper way. One second. So, Joe Depota, like that's what I was talking about in terms of essentially the combination and the exploration of metadata and so on. We are looking into development of everything. That was just a sneak peek, a picture. Um, that's something which we'll be able to have more information about in the future. So, like I was saying previously, like I'm not going to say exactly like that's like the final cut of what it is. It was just mainly like a sneak peek, and that is something that could potentially be in the future. Companions and staking is going to be very big. It's going to be a very, very cool concept. And I'm honestly, in terms of the design for companions, I'm very, very excited. Flowshack killed it with this. Roughly, when will companions drop? I don't want to give an exact time frame. We could be seeing relatively within like the first few weeks of December. Like I think it's relatively soon. I rather under promise and over deliver. So it's gonna be fast. It's not gonna be far out. It's very, very soon. And what day do we get the royalties sharing sent out to our wallet? So okay. So let me talk about royalties, and then that'll also be able to segue into the final topic of the AMA, of what I had planned. So royalties, as of this week, I mean, as of this moment, we have everything planned to where it's going to be bi-weekly. So that's what is going on right now in terms of what we got. We have a vote at the moment in DAO votes where the holders are voting on whether it's bi-weekly or monthly. But realistically, at the way it's going, it's going to be bi-weekly. And I have been seeing people talk in the chat about this, and I do like this idea a lot of potentially to where the snapshot, we don't announce exactly when it's going to happen. Now, hear me. The reason why I kind of like this idea is that this encourages people not to list, and it rewards the people who don't delist. I mean, who don't list in the first place, and it just to where it's random. It's just where you keep the floor higher than it needs to be. It's just an idea of what somebody had, and I personally I liked it, and we could just leave it up for a vote in the DAO. Everything that we do, everything that like is kind of done is a vote. That's the whole purpose of a DAO. But I do like the random aspect. Just see a couple people typing, so we'll just give them a couple seconds to say something. You'll be telling it. But yeah, this DAO, like everything that's working out right now with royalties, it's going to be a major benefit for you all. And like one of the last things that I'm going to talk about, I'm going to give you guys a couple more seconds to ask some questions before I get into the final topic. So yeah, like I said in the beginning, this is just going to be relatively short, just a little bit more straightforward, and it'll be recorded and put on YouTube. See two people typing. I'm just waiting for them to say it. Did anyone ask how I feel? No, I mean I'm good. I enjoy doing this, so I don't mind any of that. And any metaverse information, as of this moment, not necessarily, but things are always they're always open ended. I'll never say no, we're not going to do this. There's so many things that we can do in the future, and the community brings good ideas with it. Like it's just we have to do things properly. We want to make sure that we deliver upon what we're promising before we try and pursue anything else, really. Spaceships. I mean, we'll see. That's in the future. Project first, then meta. It's you gotta lay out the foundation. You gotta lay out the framework. So one of the last things that I want to speak about is launch pads. I've been seeing a lot of questions about this, and this is something which is going to benefit the DAO holders greatly. So a launchpad is essentially something that we, the Guardian team, have decided to implement to where we, rather than just simply collabing with a project, we launchpad them. We launch them. We essentially we screen the projects. We see if they're doxed. We see whether or not they have a good roadmap, a good vision, a good team, all the good stuff, rather than essentially having the Guardians look and do their own research and all that stuff, which is always encouraged. But we do all of this due diligence before we launch these projects. So now the benefit to the DAO holders is that we take a percentage of their mint, and that money goes back to the holders as royalties. So as you may all know, we have done our first launchpad with Beanverse. That's the first partnership, and we are going to be taking a percentage of their mint. I believe it was 5%, and that is going to be going back to the DAO holders. So the whole team was doxxed. They passed all the prerequisites, and that is the purpose behind the launchpad. It's essentially to bring other projects to the Guardian community, showing awareness and showing to our community that, hey, this is a project that we are partnering with. We believe in them. And then on top of that, just by showing our support, we are getting something in return, and it is given back to the holders. That is the purpose of the royalties. So with Beanverse being the first project, you all know about that one, or at least most of you do know. We have actually secured another launchpad as well. So the second launchpad that we have secured is with Coalition of Arms. Now, this is, in my eyes, a very good project, and it holds a special place in my heart mainly because of the military presence. I'm going to put an announcement now so that way you all can see. They've actually even prepared a presentation for you guys as well. So here, let me just put this now. 1 second. So I just put in the announcements for you guys all to see. It has their Discord link, it has their Twitter, and it even has a presentation from the founder, pretty much just showing essentially why you guys should invest in the project. I'm not a vet, but it's something which I do believe in. I am a very big supporter in that. So I'll give you guys a couple seconds to see that. So we are very, very, very excited to launch this with this project. Members are very, very good people. They pass through all the prerequisites with flying colors. They've doxed themselves. They did it before we even asked. So and also, let me see if I can do this as well. I'm going to add the roadmap for you guys to see. If I can go through my photos and find it. Okay, that's one. Sorry, just give me 1 second. Got like a million photos to go through. All right, I think it went through. The DEX lab and tokens trade. I don't know about that at the moment, and I do apologize for speaking fast. I'll try and slow it down. I forget that this is an international thing as well. So another cool thing about this launchpad that we're doing with Coalition is that all Guardian holders who mint a COFA, Coalition of Arms, they will gain access to a special role, which will also give you a free airdrop. This will happen post mint, and you will receive Nova the Falcon, which is a U.S. Air Force mascot. So just by minting their project, you will be receiving an airdrop. The best thing about this project as well is that 4% of their mint will be returned to the DAO holders. So just by holding a Guardian, you get royalties for this launchpad. The whole point of the launchpad is to help both projects out and essentially help them secure or just gain this hype and the recognition that they deserve. So I highly recommend for everybody to at least see the video presentation and check out their Discord. And you know what? It doesn't hurt to gain pre-sale, so you might as well. It's a very good team, and I'm sure if you have any questions, they'll be able to answer it right away. It's definitely worth checking out. Mr. Coalition right over here, he can answer some of your questions as well. He's from the team. But yeah, Launchpad is a very unique concept, and it's something that I think will definitely help elevate the NFT space going forward. Yeah, and this is another thing. This is very big support from the military. I don't think I've really seen many projects that do such a thing. But yeah, like I said before, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Ask them in Guardian of Metaverse, and I'll stick around for a couple seconds or a couple minutes, answer what I can. Wasn't really too much to speak about today. But yeah, I can't wait for companions. I can't wait for everything that we got going on. The launch pad's going to be great. Companions is coming up. It's a very, very bright future ahead of us. I didn't know we had this many vets actually in the chat. This is a really good thing to see too. All right, so before I go, is there any questions that anyone has? Is there anything that anyone wants to ask? I mean, I'm gonna be sticking around in the chat anyways. You guys can ask me after. This is just mainly just want to do like a short AMA. It's been a while. At least this way we can talk a little bit more. Is Jurek my biological son? I mean, at this point, he could be. In the future, when staking is done, we should be big enough to get every Guardian holder free NFT and mint when doing collabs. But let's just show how much we appreciate everyone to be Guardian. Honestly, with things going on in the future with launchpads with the Guardians, it's going to be big. We're going to have a big future ahead of us. And with staking, spaceships, just everything we have planned, it's just there's a lot going on. I know. I know that's what you meant. I can't wait. I can't wait for you all to see what we're going to do. Just with everything that we have planned, with launch pads, with collaborations, with everything, it's just such an exciting future. But I mean, as of this moment, I think I've given up. I've given all the updates. I get free art for being a guardian. Yeah, sure. I've given all the updates that I have. We should be able to have dates relatively soon. The three companion winners, yeah, we're gonna let that marinate for a little bit. We're gonna pick the winners about that soon. I got to see how we're going to do that. We'll probably end up just doing a vote, so that way everyone has to say. But the biggest thing that we want to do first was the HUDs because HUDs take longer. That's going to be a common trait. I think that actually might be the most common trait that you see would be the HUD. So that was one of the first things, excuse me, that we wanted to take care of. But yeah, I think this is pretty much a good spot to end it. If you guys have any questions, I'll hang out in the main chat. I'm pretty much here all night. If you have anything, you can ask me, DM me, or a staff member. And yeah, we're here. We're not going anywhere. All right. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you all in a little bit.